It's what dreams are made of, the first semi-final for England since Croatia in 2018. I remember watching it against Croatia in Russia, and now they face different opposition in Argentina. Got the flag, and this is my pre-match thoughts ahead of England against the world champions Argentina, Messi and co. And like I said, first semi-final since 2018. And potentially, if they win that and they beat the world champions, they would be going through to their first final since 1966. And they're trying to make the country proud once again to bring it home for the first time in over 60 years. So my name's Luke Morton, I'm coming to you live from Essex, and I was already out of the World Cup for the games against Ghana and Boston at the group stage, and I am still running a GoFundMe page. I'm trying everything I can to try and get out there for the final. If you want to go check it out and donate, it'd be a huge help. But in terms of the game itself, I didn't actually do any coverage for the Norway game, just been so busy since I've been back with the business and different stuff, and enjoying the games as well and enjoying the World Cup fever. But I will say this, some of the stuff I've seen has been very inspiring, and some of this stuff inspires you just in your own life, if I'm honest. And seeing the funny moments, John Stones doing that little dance in the dressing room, and just all of it, just everyone coming together as always. I've now seen it out in America, I've seen it in Wembley, and I've seen it in Essex as well. And the plan is to go to Box Park, Camden, to do interviews. I'd love to have gone out to Atlanta, but enjoying it in the country that we're supporting is the next best thing, of course. And because I've seen World Cups before when I've been on holiday, I was in Florida once watching, like I said, but to watch such a monumental game, it is a huge game. You know, where do I start? I mean, obviously, first of all, Norway. Obviously, we beat Mexico, and that was an absolutely huge moment to win at the Azteca in that style as well. This is stuff that we wouldn't have done historically. You know, it felt like we were cursed, and we finally changed that. And yes, we are relying on our key players like Kane, Bellingham, but aren't the other teams as well? Messi, Haaland, Mbappe. But obviously, a lot of rivalry between England and Argentina. We managed to overcome the Vikings and the Viking row. And my thoughts on that game, I didn't really give many thoughts on here, but I think that, yeah, it was a bit of a lucky escape. I think Norway, you know, when you look at the spider cam that got hit and stuff, the push from Haaland, and just different things like the penalty being overturned, of course, I think that we escaped that. But they say, you know, if you want to be the best, you've got to beat the best. Everyone's beatable. And we knew that, you know, Norway, a lot of people wanted Norway to do well because they were the underdogs. They were the team that came out of nowhere. Do you remember last time Haaland wasn't even in the World Cup and he was walking around the training ground at Man City? And here he is now, one of the top scorers. I still think potentially Harry Kane or Bellingham will get the golden boot. But we're now facing an Argentina side. Messi has never faced England before, which will be interesting. He's never played in England for a Premiership team, for example, before, but he has played in England, of course. When he was playing for Barcelona, he beat Man United, for example, in the Champions League final at Wembley Stadium. But this is a whole different test. All I would say is both teams haven't really been tested until now. And they've had some scares. Cape Verde for Argentina, Congo for England. But like I said, if you want to be the best, you've got to beat the best. And at some point, you're going to be tested. And look, if England want to get to a final and win the trophy, then they've got to play Argentina. They always said that they could have played them in the semi-final. They're playing at a stadium that's air-conned in Atlanta. They're playing at a stadium they've already won at. So it'd be interesting. And obviously, same with Argentina. They talk about the corruption and things like that with the referees and, you know, Messi, you know, the bias towards him. Personally, I've seen Messi play. I saw him play for Inter Miami. I never would have thought that in 2026, 3 years later, he'd be playing still and playing well, scoring hat-tricks. I know it was against Algeria and things like that, but he's top scorer right now. Just absolutely crazy. And I personally do think that England do beat Argentina just. It'd be a close one, probably like a 2-1 last-minute goal, like we've done it that way in most of our games, done it the hard way. You got Thomas Tuchel talking about the team, he's not happy with the performance. That's what you want to hear. You don't want to hear sugarcoating. But, you know, they have got top players. Martinez in goal. They've got Alvarez. They've got, obviously, Messi. There's so many players there, to name a few. But so have we. And on paper, I do believe the English team are a lot better and got a lot more superstars and a lot more players that rise up to the occasion, you know, Pickford. But when I did see them against Egypt, when I saw them against Switzerland, they are dangerous. They are they are the masters, and that's why they are the world champions. They are the masters at this. They're the comeback kings. So it does make for a blockbuster, monumental game, a mouth-watering game. But I've had goosebumps watching England play and seeing them at Mexico, Norway, even Congo, just absolutely incredible stuff. And we always knew that England were on paper set to do well, and there's an expectation. But I was saying this to someone the other day, what would we actually sing if we won it? Would we still sing It's Coming Home? Of course we would, but it'd probably be It's Come Home. And I do believe that, hand on heart, if I had to put money on it, I put money on England against Argentina tomorrow. And I couldn't be prouder to be English right now. I think it's proven a lot of people wrong. And travelling, a lot of people would support other teams and stuff, and they'd say, oh yeah, Norway and stuff, and they'd put the Norway shirt on. I'm thinking, you watch, we'll beat them and we'll go through, and everyone will turn their attention towards England. So, score prediction 2-1 England against Argentina. It's going to be a huge game. It's going to be nerve-wracking at times. It won't be straightforward, but I do believe we'll get over the line. And if we don't, it's been some tournament, but I do think we've got a manager now that is going to take us that one step further. Well, 2 steps further, because we've not got to a World Cup final since '66. We've been in 2 finals, European Championship finals against Italy and Spain, and lost them both. And I think Southgate built the foundation. This man, Thomas Tuchel, takes us all the way. And just in terms of team news, obviously you've had, Declan Rice had a sickness bug. I believe he's now fit for the game. You've had different players start and not start. Rashford's not really been in the picture. I don't really know why. Obviously you had the comments from Bellingham, but I don't mind that, because the reporters, the journalists are going to try and say things to create a story. You've had, obviously, Madueke starting the last game. Tuchel does have a soft spot for him. I'm not an Arsenal fan myself, but I can see why he's playing him with some of his credentials. Just won the Premier League. He does perform. Just when I went to the Ghana game, he was a bit in and out. But, these are all top players. You've also got, obviously, Pickford's ever-present, really stepped up in the last few games. People were doubting him to start with. I believe, obviously, Quansah's still out for a second game, which is just wrong, thinking that Trump stepped in for the Balogun one. But I think Reece James showed how good he is and why he's a well-known name. And he stepped up in the last game. Jed Spence coming on. He's been terrific. And then Quansah as well. They've all done really, really well. Even Saka, I think he's had 3 assists. He's not necessarily scored, but he's done well. So I believe. And I think things are going our way. We've not been injury-strucken. We've not had any big players on red cards. When we've had moments, like Rice was on a yellow, came off, different things, came off against the game against, obviously, Norway. Because of the sickness bug, but they've been managed very well, and I believe Tuchel, you can just see it in the hydration breaks. You can see he's working his magic, and you can see it in his face, you can see it in his communication, and that's why I believe that England are beating Argentina. I'm going to put it out there now. And I met people on the way to America, and I said, who do you think are winning? Argentina. I spoke to an Argentina presenter, Morena Beltran, 3 years ago into Miami, and she said she's got a tattoo of the World Cup on her arm. They won it in 2022, of course. So, second time, 2 in a row for Argentina? I don't think so. I think for England, it's a first World Cup win since 1966. It's going to get tougher, because to either replay a repeat of the Euro 2024 final against Spain, or to potentially face a team that's also won it twice in recent times in France. But we can get to that later. Let's focus on the game at hand. Football's coming home again under Thomas Tuchel. I will see you for the game, post-match interviews, pre-match interviews, all of it, vlog coverage. Let us know your predictions down below. England, Argentina, FIFA World Cup 2026. It's a huge one. You've got the hand of God as well. You've got all the rivalry over the years. This one could get a bit nasty, hopefully not. We'll see you there for it. I'm here for it. One last thing to say. It's coming home.